You know that feeling when you walk into a crowded room and instead of diving into the chatter, you find yourself quietly observing? Maybe you notice the way someone nervously taps their pen, how the coffee machine gurgles like it's plotting a secret rebellion, or how the lighting casts subtle shadows that nobody else seems to see. 20 minutes later, you realize you've cataloged everyone's quirks, and yet you haven't spoken a word. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's someone you know. But here's the twist. Paying attention like that, quietly noticing patterns nobody else catches, could be a sign that you're secretly a genius. Not the flashy kind with equations scribbled on a chalkboard or an Instagram full of trophies. The hidden, subtle kind that operates mostly under the radar, right inside your own mind. Genius is often misunderstood. Movies show it as dramatic breakthroughs at the last minute, or eccentric geniuses who live in messy apartments surrounded by half-eaten sandwiches. Reality is quieter. Genius often hides in the way your brain bends the ordinary into the extraordinary without making a scene. And today, we're exploring 6 subtle psychological signs that might reveal you're smarter, far smarter than you realize. Let's start with the first sign. Have you ever noticed yourself getting lost in thought so easily that reality seems to fade? You sit down to watch a 5-minute video, and before you know it, an hour has passed. Your mind has been busy connecting ideas, imagining scenarios, solving problems nobody even asked you to solve. People often call this daydreaming, but psychologists see it differently. They call it divergent thinking. It's the ability to consider multiple solutions to a single problem simultaneously, to take an idea in one direction while your subconscious explores 5 others. The kicker? Society often misunderstands this. Teachers might have told you to focus or stop spacing out, when in reality, your brain was quietly running genius-level simulations in the background. So, if you're often lost in thought, imagining, hypothesizing, or mentally tinkering with ideas, congratulations, your mind is exercising muscles most people don't even realize exist. Then there's the curious case of selective social energy, the kind that makes you stand off to the side at parties, pretending to check your phone while secretly noticing everything. Who's anxious? Who's hiding a secret? Who's about to make a faux pas? Psychologists link this to high cognitive empathy and keen observational skills. You might feel drained by crowds, not because you're shy or antisocial, but because your brain is actively analyzing, cataloging, and predicting human behavior. It's like having a mental chessboard of the room, tracking moves before anyone else notices. While it can feel isolating, this quiet, analytical mind is exactly how brilliant thinkers detect patterns and anticipate problems long before others do. Sometimes it's even a superpower in disguise, spotting opportunities, subtle cues, or risks that others miss entirely. Now, let's talk about obsession. You know that feeling when a hobby, a curiosity, or a passion consumes you completely to the point that hours feel like minutes? Maybe it's reading everything about black holes, sketching intricate drawings, learning a language at 3 a.m., or tinkering with code that nobody asked you to write. This isn't casual interest. Psychologists call it hyperfocus, a trait strongly linked to high intelligence. Hyperfocus allows you to dive deep, build intricate mental maps, and connect seemingly unrelated dots. The twist? Many people might have told you you're too intense or relax a little, but that intensity isn't a flaw, it's your brain quietly wiring itself for mastery. Obsession isn't a warning sign, it's a hidden strength, a secret engine behind creativity and insight. Another subtle sign of genius, a relentless habit of questioning everything. You're not content with surface-level answers. Someone tells you, that's just the way it is, and your brain immediately asks, why, how could it be different? This isn't cynicism, it's critical thinking at work. Many innovators, inventors, and trailblazers shared this trait, from Einstein refusing to accept Newton's assumptions without testing them, to Nikola Tesla envisioning electricity flowing through the air while the world still wired its buildings for direct current. If you're constantly probing, analyzing, and reframing reality, your mind is practicing the same skill set. You might appear skeptical or even a little contrarian, but in reality, you're training your brain to spot gaps, inconsistencies, and opportunities that others overlook. And often, this questioning isn't loud or obvious, it's internal, quietly reshaping how you see the world every single day. Then there's the solitary strategist sign. Maybe you prefer solving problems alone, thinking things through quietly rather than brainstorming in a noisy room. Perhaps your best ideas hit you while walking, showering, or staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m. This is more than introversion. Psychologists link it to reflective intelligence, the ability to process complex ideas internally, make connections, and innovate without distraction. Many of history's great minds preferred solitude for this very reason. The quiet moments, often dismissed as boredom or laziness, are actually mental workshops where genius quietly grows. If you're often more productive alone and notice insights surfacing in solitude, it's not a quirk, it's a hallmark of deep thinking. Those moments, brief as they may seem, are when breakthroughs quietly happen. And finally, the subtle, often overlooked sign, a peculiar sense of humor, not just the laugh at everything type, but sharp, ironic, and a little twisted. Maybe you catch absurdities that slip past everyone else, or you mentally rewrite reality just to see the hidden patterns. Research shows that this kind of humor correlates with high verbal intelligence and pattern recognition. Your brain detects inconsistencies and hidden connections, then turns them into something you can laugh at. Humor, in this sense, isn't just entertainment, it's genius disguised as play. If you find yourself silently smirking at the absurdity of life or noticing connections nobody else does, that's a clue your brain is constantly at work in ways most people never experience. And the beauty of this type of humor, it's subtle enough to fly under the radar, but it's also a marker of a mind that's constantly scanning, analyzing, and reorganizing the world for insight. Pause for a moment and notice the pattern here. None of these signs are flashy or conventional. They're subtle, sometimes inconvenient, often invisible. But they all come from the same source, a brain that sees patterns, makes connections, and interprets the world in ways most people cannot. So maybe you caught yourself daydreaming in class, quietly cataloging social cues at a party, obsessing over a hobby, questioning everything, solving problems in solitude, or laughing at the absurdity of life. Only you notice. That's not random. That's genius quietly at work. Many people go through life never realizing it. You don't need a fancy certificate, a viral moment, or a public trophy to be brilliant. Genius is often lived in the quiet, unnoticed moments, the ones you thought were just you being you. Here's a reflective thought. Which of these signs fit you? Are you the observer who notices patterns everyone else misses, the thinker lost in imagination, the obsessive learner, the skeptic, the solitary strategist, or the ironic humorist? Maybe it's a mixed genius rarely shows up in a single, neat package. It's woven through your habits, your mind, and even your quirks. The next time someone tells you to focus or stop daydreaming, smile. Because in those moments of quiet curiosity, of private obsession, of unseen analysis, your genius is quietly unfolding. And the best part? Unlike trophies, degrees, or titles, this kind of genius can't be taken away. It's uniquely yours. If you recognize yourself here, even in just one sign, you're not alone. And if you want more deep dives into human behavior, quirks, and the psychology behind everyday life, hit subscribe. There's a whole world of hidden genius waiting to be uncovered, maybe even in the small, quiet ways you never noticed before. If you like this video, make sure to like the video. Also, subscribe the channel and press the bell icon so you don't miss any update. Also, share it with your friends